In the last class, we have discussed about the confidence interval. What is the basic of the confidence interval and what is the application of confidence interval? We have seen in the last class. Also, we have discussed about the confidence limit, that is 90% or 95% confidence limit. So now in this class, we are going to discuss about the confidence interval for population means. Okay. During the course of lecture, we are going to discuss about the confidence interval of various parameter, that is mean, variance, or you can say the ratios of the variance of different samples. Okay. So now we will start with confidence interval for population mean. It means that what should be the confidence interval of mu x1 x2, where mu is the population mean. Okay. So we will discuss this on the basis of different cases. These cases would depend upon the data which we have in hand about the samples or the population distribution. Okay. So first we will come to case 1. Here, if the population distribution is normal and the sample size which we get is either large or small, and if we know the population variance, that is sigma square, is known, then we will use the Z statistic. We will use the Z statistic for the determination of confidence interval for population mean. Okay. So now why is this the case? This is because if our population distribution is normal, then our sampling distribution will always be normal, like this. This is, and we have already seen that the distribution of the sample mean is somewhat and we have seen that the sampling distribution of sample mean is distributed as x bar minus mu divided by sigma divided by root over n is standard normal distribution. Okay. Now coming back to case 2. Case 2. If the population distribution is not normal, but if the sample size is large and if sigma square is known, then we are also going to use the Z statistic. Why this is the case? This conclusion comes from central limit theorem. Central limit theorem. As you can remember, the sampling distribution of the sample mean is always normal irrespective of the population distribution if the sample size is large. Okay. So here in this case also our sampling distribution of the sample mean would be normal in nature. Okay. So if the sampling distribution is normal, then again it would result in this equation, that is x bar minus mu divided by sigma divided by root over n is distributed as standard normal. Okay. Now coming to case 3. If the population distribution is normal and if the sample size is either large or small, but we don't know the population variance is not known. So we are going to use the T statistic for the calculation of confidence interval of population mean. Now what do you mean by T statistic? T statistic is x bar minus mu divided by s under root n. Here this s is standard deviation of sample. So this is distributed as t distribution with n minus 1 degree of freedom, where n is the sample size. Okay, here n is the sample size and degree of freedom is n minus 1. Okay, so this t statistics, that is, this is the pivotal quantity. It is distributed as t distribution if there is an assumption that the population distribution is normal. If the population distribution is not normal, then we cannot use this equation provided the sample size is not large. Thus, coming to the case 4, it states that if the sample size is large and the population distribution is not normal and we don't know the population variance. Okay, so if this is the case, then t n minus 1 would become the standard normal distribution, and central limit theorem justifies the resulting interval without requirement that the population is normal. Okay, so here in this case, if the population is not normal, then also we can use the t statistic. Okay, so now we are going to see what is the confidence interval in case of these scenarios. So once we have decided that we are going to use the z statistic for the calculation of confidence interval for population mean, now we have to find out what is confidence interval for population mean. Okay, so what is confidence interval? In order to understand this, we must know the confidence limit. Okay, so if we want to find out the 95% confidence interval for population mean belonging to case 1 and case 2, that is this case 1 and case 2, we are going to use the z statistic for it. Okay, so we are going to use the z statistic, and we know the distribution of z statistic, that is z is x bar minus mu divided by sigma by root over n. Okay, is normal, standard normal distribution. Okay, so 95% confidence interval means that we need to find out the range of z such that there is a 95% probability of probability that z is going to lie between z1 and z2. Thus, on the basis of this, we can derive the confidence interval for mu. Similarly, for case 3 and case 4, that is this cases case 3 and case 4, for these two cases we are going to use the t statistic, and we have already seen what is the t statistic. So 95% confidence interval is such that t n minus 1, let us denote it by t 97.5 or t 2.5. So there is a 95% probability that our pivotal quantity, that is t n minus 1, is going to lie between t 97.5 and t 2.5. Okay, so what do you mean by Z 97.5? Z 97.5 is such a value of Z which gives us 97.5% probability up till this Z. So Z 97.5 is such value of Z which would give us this area as 97.5%. And what do you mean by Z 2.5? Z 2.5 is the value of Z such that this area is equal to 2.5%. Okay, so if this is the probability distribution and if we subtract out this area from the total 97.5%, then we would get this area as 95%. Okay, so the probability of, so we need to find out the these two value, and we can easily calculate these two value from the Z distribution table. Okay, so for now I am writing down the value. How we have to see the Z distribution table or T distribution table, this we will be going to see in the next class. Okay, for right now I am just going to write down the value of this. So x minus mu divided by sigma under root n is 1.96 less than and is greater than minus 1.96. From here mu is x bar plus 1.96 sigma divided by root over n is less than x bar minus 1.96 sigma divided by root over n. So this is the confidence interval of the population mean in case of case 1 and case 2 when we use the Z statistic. Okay, so now let us come to the case 3 and case 4 when we are going to use the T statistic for the calculation of confidence interval. Okay, so similar concept applies to the T distribution. This is T 97.5, this is T 2.5, and this is going to be 95% of the total probability if degree of freedom is 4. That is, if we take the sample of size 5 as the degree of freedom is n minus 1, if degree of freedom is 4, then we can see from the table. Again, I am going to teach you how to see the T distribution table in the next class. Okay, so right now I am just writing down the value of T. So T 97.5 is equal to minus T 2.5 is equal to 2.776. Okay, I am writing down this. In next class here also I am going to see you table Z distribution table. So from here what would we get? We have seen that T n minus 1 is x bar minus mu divided by s divided by root over n. So putting these two in this equation, we will get mu x bar plus 2.776 s divided by root over n, and it would be greater than x bar minus 2.776 s divided by root over n. Okay, so this is the confidence interval for the population mean in case of case 3 and case 4 when we are going to use the T statistic. Okay, so we will try to see certain examples in the next class so that we would be able to understand this in a better manner. We would also be looking at the table of Z distribution and T distribution. Okay, so see you in the next class.